Ladies and gentlemen, it's your editor-in-chief, Troy Smith, back with another daily rare briefing for you. Today, Joe Biden avoided questions on the 2024 election, shuffling away from the podium, not answering any questions from the press. See that moment now.
Thank you.
Sarah, and should run for the election.
Are you running?
I am not, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
President Joe Biden also got lost during a speech at the FEMA headquarters in Washington, D.C. today, turning his back on the podium. Take a look at that.
We're in a situation where, we're, how can I say it? There's still some deniers out there in terms of whether or not climate change has anything to do with any of this. And we're going to need a whole hell of a lot more money to deal with emergency appropriations, to deal with all you're taking.
Jen Psaki is completely obsessed with Donald Trump. Everything this woman talks about eventually devolves into her rabid hatred of the former president. Take a look at her recent clip here.
Once in a while, things happen in politics that sort of stop you dead in your tracks. Things you just know you're going to remember for a very long time. In 20 years of working in this world, I've seen a lot of them up close. But these moments do seem to be happening much more frequently now than I can remember. The word unprecedented has never been more precedented. There are also times when these stop everything you're doing moments do stand out because they tell the whole story. And there are times when you get more than one of them in a single week. The story of this week and the story of the Republican Party right now can be told through two images, two singular moments in time. The first, of course, is the release of the mugshot of former President Donald Trump. It was taken late this week after he was arrested and booked on charges that he attempted to overturn the results of an election he lost. And the second, all but two Republican candidates on a debate stage raising their hands, promising to support Trump, even if he is convicted in a court of law. Two images, when put side by side, say more than I or anyone else ever could about what is happening in this country right now. A former president of the United States, defiant in the face of 4 indictments and 91 criminal counts, wearing a mugshot like a badge of honor, fundraising off of his alleged crimes, and 6 out of 8 Republican challengers pledging to support him if, and likely when, he defeats them. When it comes to the Republican Party, that is the whole story. Now, we don't know yet where this is all going, and we don't know exactly how this legal process or this electoral process, frankly, will end.
Then we have another MSNBC liar, Ari Melber, lying about Roger Stone once again, using a false testimony by Cassidy Hutchinson in order to paint a narrative saying that Roger Stone is a criminal. He's absolutely wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at that here.
Stone quite close to 2 interference plots in the last 2 elections in a row, 2020 and 2016. Now we're in these 2020 trials going forward. So an important point here is how all of this is kind of Roger Stone's thing. Those 2 elections came after Stone inserted himself into what was America's most notorious contested election in the recent era before 2020. That would be the 2000 recount and Supreme Court case. Roger Stone declared that he was the one who helped hatch this key pressure effort that some may have forgotten, but boy, did it matter. It was one thing that may have helped Republicans bounce back in Florida in that pivotal time. It's the so-called Brooks Brothers riot, which used spectacle and intimidation to try to stop part of the vote counting, which otherwise was supposed to continue under law. So Roger Stone's reemergence is far more than a footnote in the history, let alone his biography with Trump. His penchant for promotion and cameras has added to the public evidence. That's how we know that when January 6th turned violent, Mr. Stone, who had taken a call the day before from the White House with those plans, according to Meadows' aide, testifying under oath, how he viewed the crime spree as a reason to change his plans. The video is showing him abruptly fleeing D.C. and saying, quote, "I'm getting out of town." This is all newly relevant, not only as we head into another election where Donald Trump could be the nominee and Roger Stone could be roaming free, and they could all be improving on what they view as their tested plans to not only test the system, to not only hack it, but to cheat it and end democracy. Not all of the steps in that are necessarily illegal. I will repeat that Mr. Stone, while convicted of those earlier crimes, has not been accused or indicted of any wrongdoing related to the 2020 race. But this is not a time to look the other way. It is a time for vigilance if we don't want to see blueprints turn into successful coups.
As Roger Stone stated, he did not have contact with Mark Meadows. Anyway, I'm your editor-in-chief, Troy Smith, here with your daily Rare Briefing. Like and subscribe.